Hi, my name is Katie Shea. I just want to come on here to say I support Keith Andrew and everything that you're doing. I am just so happy and so grateful to be a part of everything that you have going on, because a lot of people need what you're doing in this world. So I just want to say, I'm very grateful to be a part of your world and everything that you have going on, and to be a part of this show.
The whole point of the KeithAndrewNetWork Network is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. And never give up and prove people wrong. Prove them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you are today. Is to prove them and still amount to something. With that being said, hashtag break the labels. I do like the other ones, hashtag break the stigma, break the stereotypes. Unfortunately, I didn't come up with that, so I came up with break the labels, so that's mine. So I'm not going to take credit for anyone else's. But the first question I want to ask you is, you are beautiful, by the way. But don't mind me, I'm about to flirt.
No, you're all good.
So the first question I want to ask you is, tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came to do what you do.
Okay, yeah. So I do a lot of different things. Actually, what's really cool, what drew me to you, was I grew up with a learning disability too, which has drawn me into the world that I'm in, which is the world of coaching and this movement that I'm involved in with ladies. And really, like, my passion, what I love to do is break people's operating systems, right? Because just like how you just said, was where we're told that we're this one thing, that we have these disabilities, that we have these problems and all these different things, but it's not who we truly are. And so, going through what I did in a kid, I remember being in class, and the teacher wrote the word "because" on the board, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I know how to spell that. I know how to do this. I got this. And I went up to her and I said, listen, like, I know how to do it. I think I could go into like the quote unquote normal classes. And she looked at me and she goes, Katie, this is you. This is what you need to be in. This is your class. You need to go sit back down, because this is pretty much your reality. And she didn't mean it in a mean way. She meant it in a very, it came from her heart. But, back then I decided I wanted to level up the whole group with me and bring them out to the other classes, because I knew that we could do more. And so it brought me into the world of coaching and in the world of rich ladies. And it really, like, my thing is just really helping people just move the needle in their lives, so then they could believe in themselves and get to the level that they deserve to and that they really want to. So that's why I'm here today, and I love what you have going on.
No, I appreciate that very much. And if you're interested, I would love to work with you on a couple other projects.
Yeah.
Before you connected, I was looking at your link that you had on your Instagram, and like coaching one-on-one. What exactly do you coach with people?
Yeah. So, in my world of breaking through my learning disability, and I really wanted to be an elementary school teacher. Okay. Like, that was my thing. I wanted to be an elementary school teacher because I really wanted to help kids and not have them feel the same way I did, and probably the same way that you did. Right. And so when it comes to coaching, I fell into the world of sales. And I hated it at first, because I was like, this is so uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm doing. And when I fell into the world of sales, I remember driving up to companies, because it was door knocking sales. I remember driving up to companies, knocking on the door, getting rejected, and then going back to my car and just, pulling up to companies and just driving away, like, for 2 weeks in a row. I would just drive up, pull away, drive up, pull away. And when I did that, I realized that I needed to become a really good, salesperson. And so, when it comes to one-on-one coaching, it became a lot more of training people how to master the art of sales, but not just master the art of sales, but be very uncomfortable and do things that make you uncomfortable, so then you could grow. And sales was one of those products that I had that I learned very well that I could help people with. So, it really comes down to your mindset. I think at the end of the day, I think everything's 80% mindset, 20% skill. And, with Rich Ladies that I'm a part of, and my coaching, I mean, that's really what it is. How do you shift your mindset so then you could be this unstoppable person in your world?
No, I agree with you 100%. When I worked over at, I won't mention the name. Well, I can mention the name as long as it's positive. I worked over at North Face and talked about it in a positive way. I would do my best. And it's like, I used to walk around with a little badge. And it's like, hey, if you need me, hey, my name is Keith. And he used to show it people. I used to hide behind it. Now, because my talk show, my dad says I have diarrhea of the mouth. I don't shut up. Is I now have something to say, hey, my name is Keith Andrew, and I like to approach people. Now, that's a good thing. How that can be not really totally obnoxious. It's like, give me an example. We went to are you familiar with the New York area?
Yeah. Have
you ever been to New Paltz?
No, I haven't.
I would recommend it. It's definitely get lunch one day if you're up for it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They're over at New Paltz. They have something like the Ulster County Fair, and I was like, oh, good. People go there, and if they make things out of glass, if they're selling things, they have rides. It's pretty much just a big fair. And one of the drawing points of the Ulster County Fair is when you leave in, to the left, there's a restaurant called the Gilded Otter. If you go in your New Paltz is pretty much, it's a college town where it's busy during the school year, but when there's no kids around, I don't know, when you're 21, I guess, but when you're 21, you're not really considered kids, but it's just a college-based town. It's really nice. It's a beautiful town, small town. But reason I bring it up is this woman made this beautiful circle made of glass, and it had green, had do you like Legend of Zelda?
No, I don't know what that is.
Hey, it was one of the famous Nintendo games.
Okay.
It was something similar to that.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on, time out. What am I talking about? Yes, I know what that is. I'm fine here, Keith. Yeah.
Don't worry, I have that effect on people.
No, you're all good.
And I was like, oh, did you make this? Did you have help? No, I did it myself. Do you have a business card? Well, my name's Keith Andrew. Very nice to meet you. And all of a sudden I hear down the way, I'm like, we can't take you anywhere. There's a time and a place to do that, and this is not the time. And it's like, hey, if I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it regardless.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I mean, this is my view, okay? If you could help somebody, if you could serve somebody, if you have something that you could transfer to somebody, why wouldn't you? Right?
I agree.
Introduce yourself. I think that's a great thing to do.
Now, the next question I want to ask you is our first subject, and don't worry, I'm going to have a little bubble on the side of the screen for this one, trying to change it up. The first subject I want to talk to you about is disabilities. Yeah. With everything that you accomplished in your life, how did you overcome it? And especially you have overcome it. Look at what you accomplished. But what were some of the key points of you jumping over the hurdle?
I think for me, it was like how I brought you back to that classroom, right? Of me being in that classroom and writing the word because on the board and knowing that I could do more. And I just constantly pushed myself, and I don't know why I did it. I knew in my gut that I could accomplish more, right? And I wasn't the person that the world told me I was. And so when it came to, breaking through my learning disability, it's really doing really uncomfortable things, getting uncomfortable and stepping outside my comfort zone and almost proving myself, like that little belief that I have, because I still have it, and I'm sure you do too, right? the little belief comes up and says, Katie, what are you doing? You can't do this. Who are you? And when I hear that, it's literally proving that wrong, that I am more and I can do things. So when it came from, sales, like when I stepped into sales, it was doing it because I was so uncomfortable and I had to prove myself wrong, that limiting belief, I had to prove it wrong, that I was able to do it and I was able to be good at it because I was always told that I couldn't do that. Right. And I'm sure you could agree to that. So it's just stepping outside that comfort zone and self-developing and growing and doing things like that. So, and I'm sure you could agree,
Oh, I absolutely do. I'm the youngest out of 4 brothers and 1 sister. My brother before me, we used to sit at the kitchen table. He says, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what to do. My dad says, go talk to your brother. He knows people. Go talk to your sister so he can help you out. And I'm like, what about me? What about you? You read and learn at a middle school to a high school level. You're not qualified. You never went to college. Mm-hmm. You don't shut up. You have diarrhea in the mouth. You piss people off. And you can't hold down a job. And you're not qualified. So I said, screw it. I'm going to show you with a learning disability. Look at what I can create on my own. And for almost 8.5 years, thanks to you, we're up to, I think, episode 837. Last time I checked. I did this all by myself. Yes, granted, I sort of had, sorry, tying, I guess my breath. Well, granted, I sort of had permission forms in the beginning. And I got these stupid ass people making idle threats. Yeah, my agent said, my publicist said, you're degrading. I'm not getting any acting roles. I'm getting, and this is one of my favorites. Yeah, since I did your talk show, I'm now getting death threats. Did no one knows who the hell you are? I know as you sell drugs or, whatever on the side, no one knows who the hell you are. So, and then like, yeah, if you don't take down the interview, we're going to sue you. So I had 372. Tell you a long story short, 372. I took all of them down. Because at the time it was called Uncensored, because I liked WrestleMania, Hershey's and Snickers presents, and I was like, oh, let's do that. Kind of just give me quick highlights. So I took them down. I wrote up person permission form. Went to each person. Do I have your permission to use your episode? Some said yes. Some said no. I got up to 200. So I had to throw out all the other ones. I said, you know what? I'm paying for the name KeithAndrewNetWork. I'm going to use it. So that's what I did. And yes, officially, you were supposed to be in the thousands. But shit happens. I guess.
Yeah, things happen. I think, I really believe everything happens for a reason. And it just made you stronger, right?
No, I agree. And during the years, so people are like, giving you a quick synopsis. Season 1 and season 2 I recorded from my phone because I didn't have a camera or recording stuff like this. 2014 to about 19, I was using Skype Recorder. And then in 2019, I'm now using, Zoom. So you see the process on 2013 to this point. Yeah, the video quality wasn't that good, but you see the process of me involving for almost 8 years. But with that being said, one thing I do want to promote, it is, I know I had echoed a while, guys. One thing I do want to say is we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about social media. Can it make you or break you? And a little bit about your talk show when we come back from a commercial break. Now we're back from the commercial break. The first thing I want to promote is 8-Speed Gibson. If you're into video and liking funny skits and all that, definitely check out the home of HB Gibson. If you're into fitness and working out, just like my beautiful guest here, make sure to check out Life of a Fighter. Also, the following brought to you by the KeithAndrewNetWork Network. This June 10th at 5 o'clock will be my 8-year anniversary class. I would love to have you with us, if possible. I will talk to you and your other guests as well. But with that being said, the following is brought to you by disabilities. Disabilities do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove them and sell them out to something. So last 11 minutes and counting. First thing I want to talk to you about is your podcast. How did you guys come together and create this wonderful show?
Yeah, so Rich Ladies, it came together through my mentor, my coach, Richard Dolan. And, I think that, how we were talking about was having somebody to be a stand for you, right? Having somebody to be a stand for you to show you the life that you could create. So I came across my mentor, Richard Dolan, and he's absolutely amazing. He's worked with Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Oprah, a lot of big time people, and in the development space of really, shifting my mindset in the coaching that I did with him. So the conversation about Rich Ladies came up, and a lot of women they feel so guilty because they want to do so much, but then so many people are we're mothers, we're just we have 50 million things going on, right? As women, we have 50 million things going on. So the conversation of Rich Ladies came up, and we said, hey, I wonder if we could create something that could bring women from point A to point B to what truly matters in their life, and that they could really fall back in love with their future. Because sometimes women forget about that. And me, Maria, and Jess, we all came together. We came together with Richard Dolan, and we're using his tools and his coachings, things that he's given me to develop, that now we want to transfer to other women. And it's not just women, it's men too. I mean, that's the way that I see it. If we could get men and women together, I think that's really cool, because then we could all grow and level up together.
No, I agree with that. And hey, if you're ever interested, maybe the 4 of us can come up with a new show.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Now, the next question I want to ask you is, who were some of your favorite guests you ever interviewed, and what guests are you looking forward to having on your show?
We've had some. Okay, so we had Brenda Gilbert, which was absolutely amazing, and they just won some awards at the Oscars, which was really cool. So we've had some really cool, influential people on the Rich Ladies calls, which has been really cool, because we're getting to learn from them and to grow from them, see what they've done in their life to get to where they are today. And we've just had so many amazing, brilliant women on that show. I don't know if there's a favorite, to be honest, because there's so many that I've learned from different things from each woman, each different person that I could take away from. And it's been amazing. We have a lot of other women lined up that I'm really excited about. I can't really say who it is, but I'm really excited about. And I think that's the best way to grow and best way to learn, is just get people that have been there, done that, and want to get back.
No, I agree. Now, first question, last one of the questions I want to ask you, 2 in 1. How can people follow you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? But before you answer that, my last question, I'll pass it over to you. I want you to be brutally honest.
Let's go.
When I first approached you to be a guest in my talk show, what made you say yes? What was your honest first opinion when you saw the message? How do you feel now, and would you recommend it to other people? Passing the show over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So when you first approached me, I loved your message, right? Because you told me exactly like what you're doing, and I resonated with you a lot because that was my background. I came from the same exact spot. And so to see somebody like you that's out there and that's doing this and it's building yourself up and proving, the world around wrong, and also proving probably yourself wrong, that you got this, that you could do it. That's exactly why I came in contact with you. And I said, 100%, let's do it, because I want to support people like you, and that, want more for their lives, that's going in that direction, because I think that's really cool. And I think that the world needs people to come together. And, I saw your message. I was like, let's go. Let's do it.
No, absolutely. And now how can our viewers and listeners get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram mostly. That's the app that I use the most. And my Instagram name is Katie_Shea 13. And you could just go ahead and follow me there. And then, if I could support any of the viewers, you, Keith, in any other ways, please let me know, because that's what I'm here for. So.
No, absolutely. Now, so has 5 minutes. Was there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything you wanted to promote? You can ask me anything. I have no cards on my sleeve. And this is your time after all.
Yeah, I guess, when, I'll ask you the question. What made you reach out to me?
Well, a lot of people are like, I should get myself out there more. And funny enough, I don't know how it came up, but on my stories, it came up with your talk show. And I was like, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. So I reached out to you and Maria and Jess, and I had Jess on, and she said, oh, you have to talk to the other two. I went, okay, and we hit it off. And I talked to Maria tomorrow, hopefully, knock on wood, if things work out. Mm-hmm. And I had a wonderful time talking to you. And I know I'm a bad flirt. But then we were talking about, different ideas, especially with Maria. Yeah, that's how it got started, and I got a hold of Jess about, I'm into the Human Pyramid Challenge, the Dumbo Challenge. And for people who want to know what that is, the Dumbo Challenge is you pretty much get like a ball, and then you climb on top of one another. But that's one of my other challenges. So I call it the Exercise Ball Challenge, and it's the point of it strengthens your core. And it strengthens your arms. And the idea is to set a record. How many people can you stack on an exercise ball, hold it, and then say, we're the first team to do this. Now we challenge you to beat our record. I'm like, okay, that's really good. Reason for that is my show is mostly based about disability. So I had actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers. I don't want people to think I'm a one-trick pony. I'm thinking, what else can I create to get more people interested? So we had the Exercise Ball Challenge. As I was telling you about the Dumbo one, the same thing, similar to the Exercise Ball Challenge, only you're reenacting lines from the movie Dumbo. It's also like Dumbo live action. The Jumbo Book is you pretend you're marching, reenact the lines. So it's pretty much you putting your own spin on things. I thought it was a good idea. No one has ever done it before. I like to be the first of doing something. And I was like, okay, let's just do a little of everything.
That's amazing. That's really cool. I'm up for the challenge, Keith. Let's do it. I'm kind of intimidated by the ball or the pyramid. I'm kind of intimidated by it, but I'll do it. Why not?
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
I agree with you. You'll never know until you just try. And that's exactly what I always say, right? Step out of your comfort zone and just do it. So I love that. I absolutely love that. That's what you're doing. And just this whole show. I just want to say thank you again for bringing, all of me, Maria, and Jess on. I'm going to speak on the behalf of them too, because it's really cool to be a part of something like this and what you're doing, especially, coming from me and being in the world of the learning disabilities and everything. So, and I know I've already said thank you and I've already told you that, but I really do appreciate it. I think that this movement and this podcast and everything that you have and everything that you're creating needs to explode, and it needs to get out there to the whole entire world. So kids don't have to feel the way that you and I did when we were growing up.
No, I agree. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I want to make sure everyone subscribes to the Keith Andrew Network, available on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It's all over social media, so hit that bell icon if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe. Actually, I'm going to do it again. Hit the bell icon if you're on Facebook. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, because it will be on Facebook and YouTube. And yes, I do talk with my hands. It's all over the place. Wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. And as I always tell our fans, I'll catch you later.